I don't know about you guys, but I think the line, "I am not a corn dog," is going to be my new favorite quote from Chainsaw Man for a long time. I know there's a lot of memorable quotes in this series, but I really think it's going to be a while before something tops that one for me. Anyways, guys, Chainsaw Man Chapter 126. This was dope. This was awesome. This was an intense battle between Chainsaw Man and the Falling Devil. And this reminds me of part one because this is truly Denji at his best. We've seen Denji fight in part two, but this one was really centered and focused on Denji. And not just that, but we also got a bit of a flashback panel reminding us of Aki and Power, which of course, can tear at the heartstrings or chainsaw at the brain. So essentially, both these devils are like ripping each other apart, which is one thing that I really liked about this chapter. I like when you have characters that can withstand this insane amount of damage. So we're able to Fujimoto's able to draw so many different scenes of, like the falling devil coming out of Denji's stomach and then Denji chainsawing through her head at the same time. There's so many cool little images here. Denji being ripped in half himself. It's insane when you have these characters that can just gut and destroy and disembowel one another but still keep going. Absolute insanity on every single page, but there is other stuff going on here too. So within the battle itself, the Falling Devil says that her last task is to drop Asa into hell, meaning to me, and she also says that she's not going to harm any other humans. Like, she had one mission to do, a task to accomplish, and she's just about there. The last remnant, the last ingredient to her meal is Asa. Now, this leads into a bunch of questions because was the Falling Devil specifically sent here to destroy Asa in some way? And if so, was it by Fami? Was it by the Death Devil that we haven't seen yet? Was it by some kind of other character? Because it seems like she's clearly not working within her own interests or doing things for her, that she's doing this because of a reason. And is this reason to remove Asa from Yoru in some possible way? Or is it just to destroy Asa and Yoru altogether? Or is there another method behind the madness here, and who actually sent it? Because we did have that conversation with Yoshida and Fami, where she mentioned that a primal devil was coming to the surface. We assumed it was Death. It was actually the Falling Devil. So is she kind of tied in a way? So that's why my one main question there. But because of that, and because the Falling Devil explaining what she's doing, she mentions Asa, and which triggers Denji because he calls her his ex-potential girlfriend. And I feel like that's another great title that we that we can attribute to people, that we never even got the chance to even begin a relationship. So she's not your ex, but she's your ex potential girlfriend. And also, just as I assumed that the Falling Devil was going to try its ability on Denji, which is to make people fall into despair, fall into depression. It's much more than just the physical act of falling. It's that losing sense of yourself and kind of falling deeper and deeper into that darkness. And for Denji, we pretty much already assumed what it would be, and I'm glad that the chapter delivered on that, even though it was only for a page. Just that brief shock of seeing those characters again, seeing Power again, it just kind of reminded, not that the audience would have forgotten, but it just kind of moves us back into that place where we lost those characters and just remembered like how bad Denji has it and how alone he is as a person. And again, that's one of the other reasons why he's so perfect with Asa, and Asa is so perfect for him, is because they both come from this place where even before, in the last chapter or the chapter beforehand, Asa was talking about how she has this fear of being alone, but also this fear of connecting with another person and her inability to do it, which is definitely a parallel to Denji. They come from different places, and I also like how it kind of shows like the male perspective and the female perspective with that, because they're different scenarios, but still very similar in a way. And I don't know, man. Maybe I just shipped them too hard. I don't know what it is. But I'm waiting for the moment where the reveal happens, where Asa finds out that Denji is Chainsaw Man. And I really, really think that that's coming up very soon. This scenario is absolutely perfect for it. But, of course, it might be another misdirect, and we might not get that exactly. But when Denji hears that, and when Denji hears Asa, he goes to defend her like a maniac. And then she throws him into the despair. And Denji's method of getting out of this is actually not that different than the way that Asa did it, because Yoru cut Asa's hand, getting her into the physical, making her feel these physical sensations to get her out of her mind. Denji just takes that 10,000 steps further and just starts chainsawing his own brain. But it absolutely works because it just puts him into pain. It puts him into the present moment. It puts him into the physical. It just gets him out of his head. And Denji is the kind of guy to kind of act first and ask questions later. And that actually is an extreme benefit in some cases. Like with everything in the world, things are nuanced, you know? There's many ways that that is a bad character trait to have. But there's also many ways where that is a good character trait to have because it makes it easier to get out of your mind and to just get shit done without thinking too hard about it. And that's kind of what Denji is doing. So it covers so many things because it's hilarious in one way because you just see Denji like literally chainsawing his face. But then it also makes sense to his character. But then it also makes sense like from an outside perspective when you're thinking about getting out of your own head and kind of like grounding yourself in the present. So there's so many aspects about it that it has, and at the same time visually it just is this kind of like hilariously horrific moment of Denji just like coming down like nah son, it's not gonna work, I'm just gonna chainsaw my face. But then things get even more haywire as he does attempt to actually eat the falling devil, but she allows it to happen halfway through out of just the sheer idea of having the experience of it. And I do love how the Falling Devil continues to speak in a very sophisticated manner where you have Denji who's just so wild and chaotic and she's just like, maybe this is a good experience for me to have. And then she bursts out of Denji's midsection, kind of basically cutting him in half. So I don't think it's that necessarily that she's enabled to be consumed, but can Denji even really get that job done without being, you know, in his full, like, massive Chainsaw Man form? I don't even know. Somebody explain the lore to me. But anyways, Denji gets cut in half, and then the Falling Devil goes towards Asa, so they're about to have that confrontation. So it's up to Denji to kind of regenerate himself, pull himself back together, get back in the fight, and save Asa. And a character comes from off screen that we don't see, cuts themselves and begins feeding Denji blood to give him that boost. Questions of who that character may be. I think that it is probably Yoshida. I think Yoshida is kind of pulling the strings behind the scenes here and keeping an eye on Denji for a specific reason, using him for a specific cause. Already, you know, asking him and inquiring about the idea that, do you think, you know, you'd be able to consume death, which I think might be part of Yoshida's ultimate goal, but it's getting death to reveal themselves and then getting Denji to the level where he can actually do that. So maybe he's trying to push Denji to do this, to consume the Falling Devil as an experiment to see if he's able to continue this further, or if it can be done, or just keeping Denji in the fight, just keeping Denji around, not wanting Denji to be out of it or out of commission because he's keeping an eye on him and kind of seeing all the different things that he can do and how powerful Denji can actually be. I don't know in particular, but that's my guess. I mean, we could say it's another character. It did look like it was, you know, like the Dark School uniform, so I doubt it was Fami because I feel like that would be a little strange, but I mean, Chainsaw Man's a strange manga, so maybe. Anyways, guys, I had a lot of fun with this chapter. I thought this was a fantastic fight scene that they had when you just have these over-the-top characters that can just rip each other apart, or even themselves. I thought it was great. Excited for the next one. This was a really, really, really good chapter, and I'm glad that it came out a week later. I thought it was going to be another 2-week release. I'm so confused on when Chainsaw Man releases. I pretty much just scroll through Twitter and then see there's a new chapter at this point. Like, it's like, is it a week later? Is it 2 weeks later? I don't know. But anyways, let me know what you thought about this chapter down below. Where do you see it going? Who do you think gave the blood to Denji? And do you think this is going to be the moment? Like, Denji gets his rejuvenation, comes up to save Asa. Is this going to be the moment, my friends, where she finds out that he is Chainsaw Man and that he might find out she's attached to a devil? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, like the video and comment to help it out in the algorithm. I'd appreciate it if you did so. And if you want to support the channel at a deeper level, I do have a Patreon, channel memberships, and a merch store linked down below, as well as all the various social media links where you can follow me. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.